Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's more fraught than a pigeon trying to build a nest out of chopsticks. The top 10 countries where illegal immigrants in the US are coming from. This isn't about judging people desperate enough to risk everything for a better life. It's about understanding the complex, often heartbreaking realities that push people to cross borders. We'll unpack the economic turmoil, the violence, the lack of opportunity, all those factors that make staying put feel like a worse alternative than a perilous journey into the unknown. So buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey of our own, a journey into the heart of a global issue that's often oversimplified and tragically misunderstood. Let's start with the elephant in the room, or rather the country sharing a 1,954-mile border with the room Mexico. Mexico grapples with poverty, yes, but also rampant drug cartel violence that makes some regions feel like a Quentin Tarantino film gone wrong. People are fleeing for their lives, often with children in tow, hoping for a chance at a future that doesn't involve being caught in the crossfire. And then there's the political instability, the corruption, the feeling that the system is rigged against everyday folks. It's no wonder people are willing to risk everything on a treacherous journey north, even if it means walking for days through scorching deserts or cramming into airless trucks. It's not just about finding a job, it's about finding refuge, about clinging to the hope of a life free from fear. Next, we head south to Guatemala, a country often described as a land of natural beauty marred by societal scars. We're talking about a nation grappling with poverty so pervasive, it feels like a lead weight tied to the ankles of its citizens. And as if crushing poverty weren't enough, Guatemala is also plagued by gang violence that makes MS-13 look like an amateur book club. The government, often crippled by corruption and instability, struggles to provide even basic security, leaving many citizens feeling abandoned and forgotten. They come to the US not because they're trying to steal anyone's dream, but because they're desperate to build a dream of their own, a dream often built on the rubble of the one that's been shattered back home. Our journey through Central America's exodus continues in Honduras, a nation trapped in turmoil. The gap between the rich and the poor is vast, like the Grand Canyon. Honduras has one of the highest murder rates in the world. The government, riddled with corruption, is a bystander in its own country's demise. What do you do when your country feels like a ticking time bomb? You leave. You pack your bags and embark on a perilous journey north, hoping for a better life. Chapter 4, El Salvador, escaping the grip of violence. Our next stop takes us to El Salvador, a nation synonymous with breathtaking landscapes and heartbreaking violence. We're talking about a country where gangs like MS-13 and Barrio 18 hold entire communities hostage in a terrifying grip of fear and extortion. The violence is so pervasive, so deeply ingrained in the fabric of society, that it's become a chilling fact of life for many, especially the young. And let's not forget about the poverty, the lack of economic opportunity, the feeling that the system is rigged against you from the start. They risk everything on a dangerous journey north, hoping to find refuge, to build a future for themselves and their children. A future free from the shadow of fear that has haunted them for far too long. Chapter 5, India, the brain drain and the American dream. Now let's shift gears and head east to the world's largest democracy, India. We're no longer talking about fleeing violence, but about chasing opportunity. India is producing a generation of highly skilled, highly educated young people. They dream of working for Google, Apple, Facebook, of innovating, of writing code that changes the world. It's about the promise of meritocracy, the belief that in America, hard work and talent are rewarded. While America benefits from India's brightest minds, India grapples with a shortage of skilled workers. Chapter 6, China, seeking fortune and freedom. Our next stop takes us to China, a global superpower grappling with its own unique set of push and pull factors when it comes to immigration. On the one hand, China's economy is booming, with cities like Shanghai and Beijing transforming into futuristic wonderlands practically overnight. But beneath the gleaming skyscrapers and the high-speed rail lines lies a different story. A story of political repression, censorship, and a shrinking space for dissent. Imagine living in a world where your every move is tracked, your every online post scrutinized, your access to information controlled with an iron fist. So many Chinese citizens, armed with education and ambition, see America as a land of opportunity, a place where they can build a better future for themselves and their families, without the constraints of a government that monitors their every move. Chapter 7. Ecuador, when opportunity drifts away. Our journey takes us to Ecuador, a nation known for its stunning biodiversity, its majestic Andes mountains, and its, wait for it, crippling economic hardship. Imagine a country where the cost of basic necessities is skyrocketing faster than a SpaceX rocket, while wages remain stubbornly earthbound. Add to that political instability, corruption that makes a used car salesman blush, and a lack of employment opportunities that would make even a mime struggle to find work, and you've got yourself a recipe for mass exodus. People are fleeing Ecuador not because they don't love their country, but because they can no longer afford to live there. The journey is perilous, often involving treacherous journeys through dense jungles or across vast stretches of ocean in overcrowded boats that would make Noah's Ark look like a luxury liner. Chapter 8. Venezuela, a mass exodus in the shadow of crisis. Our next stop takes us to Venezuela, a country that's become synonymous with political turmoil, economic collapse, and a mass exodus of its citizens. Imagine a country where hyperinflation has rendered the currency practically worthless, where people are forced to use stacks of bills to buy basic necessities if they can even find them. The socialist government, once hailed as a beacon of hope, has plunged the country into chaos with food shortages, medicine shortages, and a healthcare system on the verge of collapse. Faced with such dire circumstances, millions of Venezuelans have fled, creating a refugee crisis that's rippling across South America and beyond. These are doctors, lawyers, teachers, people who once had comfortable lives, now forced to start over, to rebuild their lives from scratch in a foreign land. Chapter 9. Cuba, trading paradise for freedom. Our journey takes us next to Cuba, an island nation known for its vibrant culture, classic cars, and communist regime. Imagine living where freedom of speech is a myth and criticizing the government can land you in hot water. For decades, Cubans have risked their lives to flee, often making perilous journeys to Florida in makeshift rafts. Cuba's economy, hampered by communist rule and a US embargo, struggles to provide basic necessities. They come to America seeking opportunities to build a better life for themselves and their families. Chapter 10. Nicaragua, when the price of dissent is exile. Our final stop takes us to Nicaragua, a country where recent political turmoil has forced many to flee their homes in search of safety and opportunity. Imagine living in a nation where protesting against the government is met with brutal crackdowns, where freedom of the press is stifled, and where dissent is met with violence. Nicaragua is also plagued by poverty, lack of opportunity, and a struggling economy that's left many struggling to make ends meet. So, Nicaraguans flee. They flee the violence, the repression, the despair that has gripped their nation. They come to the US not as invaders but as refugees, as people seeking a safe haven, a place where they can live without fear, where they can exercise their basic human rights without facing persecution. Outro: understanding the human face of migration. So there you have it, a glimpse into the complex and often heartbreaking realities that drive people to leave their home countries and seek a better life in the United States. It's easy to get caught up in the statistics, the political rhetoric, the fear-mongering that often surrounds the issue of immigration. But it's important to remember that behind those numbers are real people with real stories, real families, and real dreams. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content.